Hello, my dear creative heroes. Welcome back. I missed you quite a lot, so I decided to make a little update on the RAPTOR free plugin that generates combinations, and I don't know if you can call it NFTs nowadays because it's kind of a buzzword or not anymore. So let's say that it's a free RAPTOR generator. It's quite a neutral word, hopefully. So let's dive right in because I'm about to go for a deep sleep, and what I'm about to show is something that I should have done a little earlier, but you know that I somehow didn't have a strong power to do that. But the day had come. So let's dive right in. So if you are someone who loves free products, this one is for you. The RAPTOR, or just to sum up the history of the RAPTOR, the free version, it was quite limited in a way before. So you had only like thousands of combinations, and it also just supported 4 attributes. So I decided to make it unlimited. And so that's a first thing that had changed. So now if we add more than 5 attributes, or 4, I mean, the RAPTOR should recognize it. So let's just demonstrate that. I actually also want to find myself. So I'm just gonna add another attribute. There is this convention that you always need to name it attribute underscore, and we'll just do it a test 1 or test 4. This is actually test 4, and then we're gonna create another one, and that one is going to be test number 5. Right, so now we have 4 attributes. As you can see, the one thing that we always have to keep in mind is that each attribute always needs at least 1 trait. So we're gonna call it a test for trait, and then we will do that also for the number 5. So let's call it test 5 trait. All right, so when you do any change in the attribute section here, or in the collections, I mean, you always need to analyze. So analyze, now you can see that we have the attribute of number 4 and number 5 added. So this is what is finally in the RAPTOR. And as you can see, it also has some UI improvements in terms of the calculations of the sums, and also the estimation of the amount that you might get. The thing is that this works for rather large numbers, so it doesn't provide an informative numbers or correct numbers. So it works in a way that if I had, let's say, 10 of thousands or hundreds of thousands of combinations, then I would change the desired number here to, let's say, only 10 or 100 or 1000, and then based on that it would then estimate the amount based on the rarity. So if I, let's say, only want half of the max combinations, which is in our case now 8, I'll want only half. So you can see that the estimated amount is number 2 and 2, which is 4, if we take in count the rarity, which is 50 and 50. So this is also something that was a little maybe ambiguous in the earlier versions. And so I'm smiling because my English is now kind of rusty. Yeah, I'll just demonstrate it in a way that, I don't know, let's do 30 and 70. So this should gives us, 3 against 4. So this is the way it works. These are actually the ratios, right? And you always want to have 100 in each of the attributes. So we went too much into the depth of what came new, or at least that's what I remember that hasn't been there. But another thing that came with this new version of the free version is the fact that now it produces also the metadata in a complete way. There is no limitations. So I think that's something that can definitely help a lot of students, people who can't afford, the other versions of the Raptor. So I think now it became kind of a nice tool with which is actually usable for a real case usage. So now let's do generate. Voila. We can just quickly check the time on here so we can see the combinations that got generated. We wanted 4, so let's go and check the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just, I don't know, a toy collection, actually inspired by one of the real collections. All right, so let's check the metadata. So the metadata folder gets created along or next to the blend file where you have it saved. It's also something that many people forget. And then they are just texting me, where is the metadata? All right, so it's in the format of the JSON. Here we have 1 up to 8. That's just because I did that earlier, but so let's just delete all of that and then generate again so we have the proof that it actually gets generated. So we got 4 of JSONs, and so here you can see that we have the metadata for the first combination, and you have the attributes and respective trait type and what is actually inside. So this can be helpful. And what I also think that is cool is the all metadata file. That's all those 4 JSON files merged. So here you would have, let's say, if you generated 1,000 combinations, you would have all 1,000 JSONs merged in one. That's actually something that comes in the Ultra version and the Max version, but I think now it should be also released for the free, for the people who love free things, because I'm also one of them. All right, then there's trait count. That is actually quite something that can be informative as well. So here you can see that basically, if we check the ratios of the attribute clothes, let's say here in the Blender, you can see that we had 4, or we had 2 and 2, but in real this is what actually gets generated. And so here you can see that it is 1 against 3, and this is because we are working in a small scale. And so yeah, there's a lot of combinatory and statistics and math behind it, the way it generates the random numbers and then it chooses the traits. So let's not dive into that. So in large numbers, you would get the ratios kind of estimated correctly, meaning that this number here would be more accurate, but it's only the estimation. All right, so that's the trait count, and let's open the last file, which is the trait rarities. And this is also something that people would like to probably see, and I like to also see myself in large collections. You can see the rarity of each of the traits in each attribute. So yeah, hopefully this will result in less of the accusations of me selling the Raptor for too much of the high price for, let's say, people who can't really afford it. So this is something that I wanted to show you. I hope it will be useful for the free thing people lovers. But I think my purpose now is to keep things kind of real. And so, as you can see, I'm also not and will not be editing that much because that's what led to me postponing and leaving the channel for quite a while. Yeah, the Raptor is updated. Now you can download it via the link here in the description. I hope it will be useful for all those people who are still not believing, but being passionate about these kind of things. So I hope you'll have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.